Alright, so you've gotten this far. Make sure after you've done part 1, you shut down the computer, obviously. So you can see it shut down. And you remove all the hard drives. Except the one you're installing, Windows 7 or Windows 8 too. Make sure you're using 64-bit Windows 7. If you're going to use Windows 8, it's fine if you use 32-bit or 64-bit, but for Windows 7 apparently you have to use 64-bit. That's to my understanding. I don't know if there's a workaround. You can always Google it, but it's just so much easier to use Windows 64-bit. This CD I have here, I burned using an ISO image. I burned Windows 7 64-bit on there by downloading it, buying it off Newegg and downloading it and installing it. Not exactly installing it, I would say burning it to this disk right here. So what you're going to do is, first you're going to open your computer and you're going to put this in the disk drive, and now it's going to ask you to boot. It says here press F9 to select the boot device. That's exactly what I pressed, F9. I selected F9. Now for different motherboards, obviously it's going to be different. There might not even be a button that tells you select the boot device. You might actually have to go to your your motherboard BIOS menu. And what I mean by that is this. You go into your BIOS menu. It's going to tell you exactly what button to click for your BIOS menu. Here it says delete to enter the BIOS menu. I click delete. It can be different for each motherboard, but for me it's delete. Again, before you get to this part, make sure you read up on this, because as you can see, the screen went away in like a couple seconds. So if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to have problems. You're going to go into your boot menu, and you're going to go to boot option priorities. Okay, there's like a bunch of stuff here. As you can see, all this stuff, you have like 4 different boot options. Some advanced motherboards can have like more than 4, but for mine it only has 4. So you would go down here and make sure that boot option number 1, you can just disable it for mine, and it'll just the next one will move up. What you want is this, UEFI, either DVD, or if you use the USB, it would come up as USB. Don't worry, if you did it right, it would come right up. So if it doesn't, that means you did something wrong and you need to go back to the directions. You must have UEFI. You must. Now if you forgot to unhook one of your hard drives, just disable it. That also works, but make sure you don't disable the hard drive, the 3 terabyte hard drive one. Okay, that's the one you need. Don't disable that too, or you're gonna have problems. If you don't know which one is the 3 terabyte one, go back to your hard drive that has Windows already installed on it, and read up on the disk wizard from Seagate. Read up usually it's just the first 3 letters would be okay, but you might have to go on to the string of letters and match it up. But for me, I already know, because I have 2 different ones. I have Seagate and Western Digital, so I know exactly just by looking at the first couple letters. You want this UEFI and the hard drive. So you want the DVD booted in UEFI. It's always going to come up with 2 different ones. It's going to come up with UEFI and SATA. As you can see, they're exactly the same. One is in UEFI, one is in SATA. You want this one, okay? So make sure you disable this one. I already did it, so now it's time to boot, right? So I'm going to save and exit. or just boot right away from UEFI. It works for me for my motherboard. It's going to ask you press any key. I'm pressing this key right here. It doesn't matter what key you press, it said press any key. And just wait for the Windows files to load. This might take a couple minutes to a couple seconds. For me, it takes just a couple minutes. I'll fast forward. Here we go. There, Windows 7 installation. You are going to click next. If you want to update any of this stuff, doesn't matter. I'm just going to click next. Okay. Now, you are going to click install now, and it's going to be like setup is starting. Okay, obviously accept the terms. Okay, now I am going to custom or advanced. It's install a new copy of Windows. That's exactly what we need. Okay, now you are going to select the one that's 3 terabytes. Okay, I'm not going to install, obviously, because I already have Windows installed on this, like I said before. So I don't want to ruin any of my files. But you would select the disk that has the total size 3 gigabytes. If you disabled or disconnected all your other hard drives, this is the only one that's going to show up. Mine shows up 3 because when Windows installs, it creates all these partitions, as you can see. But if yours just came directly from the Seagate Disk Wizard, there's only going to be either just 1 or 2. Usually I think it's going to be 2. There's going to be a reserved one, and then there's going to be the primary one, but there's not going to be a system one. There might be 1 or 2. For me, what happened was when I used the Seagate Disk Wizard, it made 2 partitions. I picked the one that was the biggest, and then I clicked next, and it installed perfectly fine. So don't worry if you have like only 1 partition or if you have 2 partitions. Just pick the one that has that's almost 3 terabytes, which is close to 3,000 gigabytes. Now some of you might come up with this there's going to be a warning message right here, and next, you won't be able to pick next. Like here, Windows cannot be installed. Let me see if this one. You might come up with all these different Windows cannot be installed to this, Windows cannot be installed to that. There's another one that for some reason isn't showing up. It says Windows cannot be installed to a GPT hard drive. Don't worry, that just means that your hard drive wasn't formatted correctly by the Seagate Disk Wizard. So what you do is you boot up back to the hard drive that had your original Windows installation. You go to that and you just redo the steps, and then it will work that time around. At least it did for me. I'm just trying to pass on knowledge and information. Maybe you guys can in the comments below add any helpful tips. There's also this one tip I wanted to show you. You need to go into command prompt, which in order to do that on this, you would click shift and then you would click F10, right? Well, I don't know why I asked you, right? You wouldn't know. And here you go, command prompt. Now what I wanted to show you is you would type disk part, list disk select disk and you would select disk 0. It should be the only one there if you followed my directions and disconnected all your other hard drives. Now from here on in I'm not going to do anything so I don't screw up my hard drive, but what you would do next is you would say clean and you would press enter, okay? And after you press clean, it's going to clean that hard drive, and what you're going to do after that is say convert GPT. Okay, convert GPT. Alright, mine is already on GPT, so I'm not going to do that obviously, but you would convert to GPT. You can try that. This personally didn't work for me, but it might work for you. We all have different experiences, so I just wanted to show you that just in case mine didn't help at all. But if you're booted into UEFI, then this technically should work as well. And then after you're done cleaning and converting, you would say exit, and it would say leaving this part. This is the safest way to exit instead of just clicking right on the X. And then you would refresh right here, and then it'll come back up again. Then you select your portion that has the total size is biggest. It's going to be almost 3,000 gigabytes, and then you're going to say next, and then it's going to install Windows, yada 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 yada. And after that, I'm going to cancel the installation. And after that, in order to boot back onto that drive, you have to pick Windows Boot Manager. Do not pick this, okay? This is the 3 terabyte hard drive. You would be like, oh, the boot device has to be the 3 terabyte hard drive. No. Windows Boot Manager. If you try to go onto this, you're going to get, I think this error should come up. You're going to get MBR error 1. Okay? You just turn off your computer. Don't worry, you didn't fuck anything up. Just don't worry about it. What you did is you booted from the wrong thing. You would try to go up to your boot device manager. Mine is real easy. All I need to do is click a button. You might have to go into the BIOS, but you would select Windows Boot Manager. And here we go. Starting Windows. And I'm just going to show you that this is the 3 terabyte hard drive with Windows installed, so I can have evidence. My camera's trying to readjust. Sorry, I'm recording on my Samsung Galaxy S2. It's a very old phone, so the camera isn't great. Here we go, Windows 7 Ultimate. That's the version I had installed on the disk. Here we go. Just to prove it to you. Okay, just to prove it to you, I'm going to Windows Explorer. Gone to computer, and there you go. 3 terabyte local disk CD. It has Windows installed, as you can see. I have all my Windows applications, control panel, default, blah 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 blah. All my disk information, 64-bit operating system. This is extremely important right here, the 64-bit operating system. Windows 7 Ultimate, blah blah blah. And there you go. Hopefully it should work for you as it worked for me, and if it didn't, good luck on using the other trick, the disk part trick. And if that doesn't work, try to like give me a list of exactly what you did in the comments, and I'll try to help you out, and we'll see what we can do from there. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you out. Bye.